Necron Canoptek Acanthrites Tactics.
Necrons!
Nick speaking, and welcome to this video. Right, time for some more Forge World Necron Tactics, and in this one we're going to look at the Acanthrites. Before that though, if you would like to keep up to date with the wonders of Warhammer 40k, then please give me a sub and hit the bell button so you don't miss an upload. Okay, so the Acanthrites, the Forge World version of the Necron Wraith. Now I think this could potentially be a hidden gem for Necrons, so first of all let's have a look at their stats. Okay, so the Canoptek Acanthrites, they can move 12 inches, they've got a weapon skill and ballistic skill of 3+. Their strength and toughness 5 with 3 wounds. They've got 3 attacks, leadership 10 and a 3+ save. Their faction keywords are Necrons, Canoptek and Dynasty. Their keywords are Beasts, Fly and Canoptek Acanthrites. Okay, so coming in at 60 points a model, you'll notice that these aren't quite as strong as Wraiths. You'll also notice that they have a 3+ save as opposed to a 4+ save. However, there is no war gear options for these guys, so they don't have that very valuable 3+ invulnerable save that Wraiths have. However, they are armed with a cutting beam and void blade, so let's have a chat about those first. So the cutting beam is a 12-inch shooting attack. It's also an assault weapon, so we can move and shoot at our normal ballistic skill. It only has 1 bullet, but that gun is strength 7, -4 AP and does D6 damage. Not only that, if you're at half distance, you can roll 2 dice for the damage and disregard the lowest. So at short range you have a lot of potential to do some serious damage against monstrous creatures or vehicles. Now on top of this they also have the void blades for close combat, so this is user strength, so it's going to be strength 5. It's -3 AP and does 1 point of damage. Now the Acanthrites have 3 attacks, which is quite reasonable. Now of course the void blades in the index for Necrons did get an FAQ where you get 1 extra attack if you're holding a void blade. Now this doesn't necessarily apply to the Forge World models. Now whilst it may be pretty obvious that the void blade from Forge World should also get +1 attack, as the rules are written you don't currently get that. But still, 3 attacks from each one is still pretty reasonable, especially at -3 AP. Now whilst Acanthrites don't have that 3+ invulnerable save or any war gear options, they do have a special ability, and that's called Shadowed Wings. Now this ability is pretty awesome. Anyone that shoots at this unit will be -1 to their ballistic skill. Now yes, okay, the 3+ vulnerable save of the Wraith is probably a little bit better, but still, -1 ballistic skill, that's really going to help these guys get across the board, and that's what we need to talk about next. Now unlike the Tomb Sentinel, which we covered last week in this video, we're unable to deep strike in with that short range gun and get it in on turn 1. We do have to move across the board. However, they do move 12 inches, and with an advance roll maybe on turn 1, these guys can get across the board quite quickly. Now we are talking about 8th edition here. Most armies are a little bit faster, most armies can get close to you very quickly. So 12 inches is actually quite powerful in 8th edition. And even if you're only shooting that gun at 12-inch range rather than 6-inch range, it's still a pretty decent gun, D6 damage for each one. That is going to hurt a big monstrous creature or a tank with loads of wounds quite badly. Now the question is, how many of these guys do you have in one unit? You can have between 3 and 9. Now a small unit of 3 is going to be cheap. This is the type of unit you could either maybe hide behind a piece of terrain and wait for your enemy to get close, pop out and boom, destroy them, or potentially you could flank them down the edge of the board and use them as a distraction unit. Try and get into your enemy lines, take out those annoying tanks. Maybe your enemy has a whirlwind or a tank which has got long range sitting at the back. You can send these guys down the flank and try and deal with that tank. However, if you have more in a unit, maybe 6 or possibly 9, you can be ultra aggressive with these. You can literally charge them forward. -1 to ballistic skill means you've got a good chance of surviving with those 3 wounds. Even without an invulnerable save or reanimation protocol, these guys are pretty survivable. And when they do get into close range, they have a very decent gun and they're actually pretty good in close combat. So I'm thinking that maybe these Acanthrites could be a little hidden gem for Necrons, maybe a little ace up the sleeve. But what do you think? Have you used Acanthrites? How have you got on with them? Let me know in the comments box below. Now if you've been wondering what the Acanthrite models are that you've been looking at in this video, those are my converted ones that I made out of some old school wraiths. I'll link you up to a playlist here so you can check out me making those models. Not only that, if you want to make some Acanthrites out of the new Necron Wraith models, I'll also link you up to this video here from Super Wargamer, where he makes an awesome job of making Acanthrites from a Wraith kit. Okay, that's it for this week's video. I will be back next Monday for some more Forge World Necrons. Beam me up!